Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Bed. Actually, it's actually another episode of the Let's Play series, but yeah, that was a joke I saw on. Oh, come on, there we go. That was a joke I saw on Phoenix ST's channel. I thought it was funny. So I've never actually seen Breaking Bad, but that was some top tier humor, right? No, no. Oh, okay. Maybe the only tears we'll be seeing are mine. Being that nobody thought my joke was funny, but okay. Yeah, we're gonna be recording this episode in a little bit of weird order. I do want to say too, you have no idea how many takes that took to get that perfect. I was clipping the mic, I was completely missing the firework rocket. I don't know why I have so much energy right now, so I was like, okay, I guess it's a good time to record a really weird intro. So yeah, let's get right into things. This is a big change that's coming to the YouTube channel. Or well, not to the YouTube channel, but to this series specifically. Actually, it's a really small change. It's a little tweak that I made to our world here, and I meant to put it in the last episode, but it didn't fit because that episode was like 27 minutes long because it took like 3 hours to move shulkers from an end city to the spawn. So like, yeah, but okay. So yeah, let's get right into things. Here is what we will do. Okay, editor Brevort, put a really cool transition right here, like a really cool transition. Like you have a really cool transition, right? Right? Huh? Yeah? Okay, cool. Really cool transition. Right here, right now. Like do swirlies or like sparkles or like a big whoosh or like boom, fireworks, like boom. Yeah.
This is the best I got.
So there is one game rule that has been added in 1.19.3, and I do want to change it, but there's no real way for me to change game rules in the game. So I've gone ahead and made a backup, and now we're going to use an external source to edit the game rule. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is NBT Explorer. This is an external source that you can use to edit NBT data in your game without having to have mods or anything like that. You can do all kinds of things with this. You can do things like change your seed, you can change what type of world you have. So like if you want to change it from default to amplified, you can do that. If you want to make your game hardcore, you can do that. But yeah, what we're interested in is the game rules, and the one that we want to change is it's mob explosion drop decay, and we're just going to change this to false. So in fact, actually, let's go ahead and copy and paste the false just to make it even more. It shouldn't matter, but we're going to go ahead and do that. That is all we need to do, and this will make it so when a creeper blows up, for example, or like a ghast or anything, any blocks destroyed by that will be, they won't be destroyed. So, or like they'll drop items always. So basically like how TNT currently is. So yeah, that's something I've really wanted in the game for a while, instead of having to worry about losing blocks when a mob explodes. If two explode though, you still do lose them. So, alright, let's jump back into the game now. Alright, so we want to test this out. Also, I want to say that I did make a mistake. I just kind of worded it poorly. The 1.19.3 did not just add one new game rule, it added several new game rules. Oh, I backed away too much. Alright. Oh, I don't know if it worked. Doesn't really look like it did. Hold on. Maybe it did. Oh, yeah, I think it did. If I could fill in this hole, then we know it worked. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. So, that's really good. Hey. I think that guy spawned on top of me. That one of the two guys there. Alright, so yeah, that definitely works. I'm not going to be using this to like get items, like as like an off-brand TNT or anything like that. I'm just going to be using it so I don't lose my blocks. Like if a creeper blows up a building, I don't not have the blocks needed to repair it. And if you think this is cheating, well, I mean, they added the game rule, so uh, I don't think it's cheating personally. I think it's just a different play preference. I don't think if you want to turn mob griefing off, I don't think that's cheating either. In fact, I understand that, but there's also benefits to that that I like to have, which is that when you turn off mob griefing, you can't, like, villagers stop working. Like, you can't have like automatic villager breeders, and sheep won't eat grass, so they'll never grow back their wool. So there are benefits to having mob griefing on, which is why I haven't turned that off. And keep inventory, I just think that is kind of OP to have keep inventory on. I don't personally have a problem with people that play with it on. I just don't like it for my own play style. So there are different people with different play styles, and you do have to be accepting of another, especially when it's someone else's world. If it's in a server, you do have a little bit more say, but when you're just watching a YouTuber in general, you do have to be cognizant of the fact that it is their world, and you have some control over it, which is in the comments, but which is why for like servers, or not servers, for mods, because I want to use some client-side mods in this world, and that I'm definitely going to leave up to you guys. If I do see any form of response to that seems negative, I will rethink it, but right now, and I'm just talking about some minor stuff like zoom and sodium to improve frame rates. The problem with that, though, is once I use mods, if they are server side in the slightest, I won't be able to ever go back to using snapshots, potentially. So mods like anything that adds things in, like even mini maps and stuff like that, perhaps, because they add waypoints, those might not be ever compatible again with me being able to use snapshots. Also, I don't know why I'm getting so much lag. So I do want to bring that up. And I'd love to use snapshots. I really want to try out the new armor trims, but I don't think that they're ready right now. I think they're going to be changed, and I don't think it's a good idea right now for me to upgrade to that version, especially if I plan on using mods in the near future. So perhaps some things I can get, some mods like sodium. It is sodium, right? I think it's sodium. Yeah. That will improve, and maybe even like, what's the one, is it, I can't think of the one, what's the one that's, is it called lithium? I'm trying to think. The one that is clients, or the one that's server side that improves like server performance. I'm pretty sure it's, I don't know, I can't think offhand, but it's by the same person that made it though. Also, can we just like accept the fact that like these have a really cool top texture? Like, it's very industrial looking. It's very nice. Okay. So yes, moving on. One thing I want to do, I'm very interested in like different boundaries and stuff, especially like within. Why was I? What is going on? Why am I stuck flying? What the heck? Okay. That was very strange. Okay. I'm very interested in like counties and stuff, and anything like of that sort. Like, for example, in Louisiana, I believe they're called parishes instead of counties, even though they serve the exact same purpose. So yeah. So I'm very fascinated by them. But one thing that really bothers me is there's no hexagon-shaped counties. And why does that matter? Well, hexagons are the most efficient shape in order to... Why did I just go back to the overworld? That was absolutely pointless. Okay. Hexagons are actually the most efficient shape. I need to go this way. In order to... like, because they tile, and they're the closest thing to a circle, because they have the most amount of sides, right? So hexagons become the most efficient shape. So that's why when you look in stores, you see oranges are packed in that hexagonal. I don't know how it's pronounced, but they're packed in hexagon shapes. You see like the one in the middle, and then you see 6 around it, and it forms a hexagon. And the different areas around them form equilateral triangles. Like if you connect together, like the center, the midpoint of each different like orange or whatever, then you see equilateral triangles. So what does that have anything to do with Minecraft at all? We're about to find out. Where is my... Oh, I must have gone from here. Okay. So yeah, what does that have anything to do with Minecraft? I hope it's daytime. Oh, why was there a creeper right by the portal? Okay. Okay, we need to go this way. So, what this has to do with Minecraft is I'm going to be building these outposts, which are kind of going to be like county seats in a way. They're just going to be like a central location that I can go to in a short length of time. Is this... No, that's way too short to be the Bryce. Yeah. I was wondering if that was like the Mesa Bryce, because I haven't seen that yet. Okay, so that's where we need to go. I don't really have any blocks to do anything here. But... Uh-oh. I'm not going to be able to get on top of this. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get our portal set up here. This should take us to the normal nether and not like down below where we've built everything so far. Well, not everything, but yeah, this took us to the normal nether. So now we do want to move this down. Since we just generated this for free, we can just break it once. And we have 3 stacks of obsidian on us anyway. So, so the coordinates of this came out to be... Well, it's at 0, 2400, so that would be about 0, 300 in the... So, like, right here-ish. Like, it should have generated, like, right about here. Okay. So now we just have to go to that spot in our nether, like our lower nether. Alright, here we are. This is the spot. We'll go ahead and build our portal right here. Alright, this should take us right back there. And this will be a lot quicker to get around now. So, I did kind of base this on how long it takes to travel between them so that the outposts wouldn't be too far apart. They will be still quite far, but as you could see, because this one's 2,000 blocks out and this is like one of the closest ones to spawn, I think. So, yeah. Well, actually, there should be one... There's one actually right by the ocean monument, because I have them already planned out. And then there's one that's like over there in the desert. So, so yeah, I do just want to get these spots marked out for now. Let's actually build like a, kind of like what you would imagine to be a beacon. Just like that. And that should be good. I think I had another spot like this, but this one I'll recognize because this is the one with the portal. So, we also, because of this, we can rip out that other portal eventually at some point here. Just because this is so close, and... I mean, maybe not, because this is probably a more, like... We can use this area for, like, actually building, and then we can use the area that's closer to this portal for tearing out, like, all of the blocks. So, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, so... Also, there's a lot of red sand here, which is, like, very hard to get. And red sandstone, which you craft from it, which is even harder to get. So, yeah. So the next one is this way, I believe. It's, like, right on an island, so I kind of want to build a lighthouse. I really like building lighthouses in Minecraft, but they take so long to build. Maybe it's not over this way. This is the area where we fought the Wither. Yeah, I just saw a Wither skull, actually. So, definitely it was in this area. Actually, wait, how come there's wither-ish looking features here then? I guess we must have done it in more than one spot. Yeah, right there. So as you can see, actually I'm gonna put in the video mark to say how long it took me to get between the two with my elytra. They are gonna be pretty far apart, which is pretty cool. That was like the shortest distance between two of them. The next one is going to be whatever distance we just traveled from that way, but then you just go straight that way. And then when you go that way, it'll be all the same because it'll be an equilateral triangle. So you'll have about the same distance, well, not about, exactly the same distance in each direction. Also, these are some wacky caves. That's cool. Alright, and you can see our guardian farm is working its magic. This thing is absolutely crazy. I don't know how I designed such a great farm. Yeah, I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. So yeah, the next outpost should be right over here. I don't remember if I have this one marked or not. Yes, I do. Okay. Interesting that I have it marked, but I didn't know it was by the ocean monument until afterwards. So I must have just, like, gone to these coordinates and not realized where I was. Or wait, did I... How did I get here? Did I fly? Were the chunks not loading? Was there a cave that I came up out of? I actually don't remember in the slightest. There's light here for some reason. Why is there light? What is... oh, it's below lichen. I guess we'll build a portal. This is probably going to... Well, this might just take us to the Ocean Monument portal, because we are pretty close to that. So yeah, I'll probably build another lighthouse here. Although I'm not really sure how, because this is a pretty steep slope. Oh, yeah. There, it was that I took a portal, and then I... Okay, that's what happened. Okay, so I'm going to build a portal, like, right here. Oh, is this the spot where I found an iron ore vein? I think it might be. So I found an iron, like, where you know those things where you find, like, tons and tons and tons of iron, and it just, like, goes on forever, basically? That was in a cave at one of these spots, and I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, okay, so I think to get over to that... I'm very pleased about this, because we were actually very low on iron earlier in this episode, so it's like it all paid off. Oh my goodness, there's even diamonds in the ceiling. This is one of these bedrock ceilings, so this was bedrock at one point, but it like regenerated when I updated to 1.18, and it formed into, yeah, right here. So you can see there's a bunch of iron here, there's a bunch of iron here, there's a bunch of iron here, which right now, yeah, that just seems like a medium, like, seems like a lot, but it doesn't seem like surprising. So what that means isn't much, and there's a little bit tough over here. But when you get over here, you definitely see there's a little bit too much iron for it to be just random iron. Okay, that's gold, but you know what I'm saying. This is definitely too much iron. So this is one of those iron ore veins. I found one of these once. It was in a multiplayer server that I made for my friends and I. And I was like instantly the richest person on the server. But also it was because the whole like cave system I lived in was just absolutely chock full of diamonds. So I had like 36 diamond blocks before most of the other people even had like really much of anything. Like I just found this huge cave system. I think there was 21 spawners in it, 21 different types of spawners. 2 of them were actually so close together that I couldn't make a farm out of them, which is kind of unfortunate. There was like 2 different mine shafts, like I think like a dozen dungeons that I found just like really close together. I was able to find 3. Well, at least we get the gold blocks and the torch back. Nice. I don't need that. Okay, so like yeah, it was kind of like this, but on a much bigger scale, and also there wasn't full of water. This is actually really incredible, though. Yeah, I don't usually find caves this big. Maybe if we get really lucky, we'll find the deep dark. Because I have not found a deep dark yet in this world. And the final outpost location is right up ahead this way. Oh, it's right over there. This actually right here is where the tower we used when we were finding the stronghold. So it's very close to here. And we go ahead and go this way, and it's at 0 and minus 1200. And there will be more outposts to come, but those are the four that are basically the closest to. This is actually going to be, I believe this is the one that'll be closest to my base. In fact, this is the general area of it anyway. Let's get a portal in here. Also, there's a really, yeah, this tree. This is a really weird tree that I remembered seeing when I came here the first time. I was like, what the heck? The only real problem with this whole system of having outposts around my world is it's going to be difficult to know where the nearest one is. So, I do not like these corners not being solid blocks. I don't really like corners at all if they're not obsidian. I usually put it 2 blocks, or 1 block anyway. Oh, why did I go through this? I wasn't going to go through it. Oh well. We know the coordinates of where it should come out, so let's break it and then go underground. So it's minus 1200. Divide that by 8. I think that would be minus 150 Z. Minus 150. Okay. So then we need to go to 0x. So that is not that way. Not that way. I got turned around. Does he have a flame bow? He does. Ooh. I wish I had looting so I could get it from him. I don't know what happened to my regular bow. I don't know whatever happened to it. I couldn't find it. Okay. Let's get a portal in place here. So 0. Stupid skeleton got me all distracted. Oh, it would be right along here. Right, because this is x equals 0. I forgot I did these on the major axes. Hey! Let's fly back to our base. So, we have to go this way. Yeah. I want to show how close this is to my base, so let's do that. Why do I still have hitboxes on? I turned the hitboxes on, I think, when I was in the cave, and then I was using them to like see where the mobs were a little bit better, because they always show up as like fully lit up. But I just never turned off. Yeah, you can see it's very close to our main base. So that outpost, it might actually be a little bit smaller. I was thinking it'd be bigger because it'd be the one that would be at the most, but we have this place. So unless we want to... This was actually originally going to be a temporary base, so maybe we can move into that outpost eventually. Because this was going to be a temporary base, but it never ended up being one. So we actually just kind of always stayed here because we had everything we needed here. And Plains biome is really good to build in. Although, as you can see, I didn't really build much here. I mostly just build functional stuff. But that's kind of my game style, is just building the technical stuff and not finishing the actual building stuff. So since basically day 1 of going to the Nether, our Nether has had some serious infrastructure issues. If you recall, we had a lot of trouble just getting down here to Y15. And then basically ever since then, it's been a mess. There's always skeletons waiting to ambush me and piglins, and it's just a huge mess. So I started to, and the surface isn't much better because there's always ghasts up there, tons of ghasts, like an unreasonable amount of ghasts. But basically, I started making a safer, the slightest steps to safety, basically. We have this little hub area now, which is basically, this is 0, 0 right here, where the sea lantern is. And then we have the directions, so you can look and see, based on which way the prismarine bricks are pointing, so they point that way. That way's north, and also the sign says north. So, and I should also put stronghold on that, but we'll do it later. Then we have this. So right now it's really difficult. Well, not right now because I have this now, but this is the Nether Vader. It looks like a regular Nether portal, but it's not. So right now it's really difficult to get up to the surface. We can, if we're at this portal, we can get down pretty easily from the surface by dropping down onto this honey block. But if we want to go up, it's a lot harder because you can't just start flying from a honey block without like it taking a lot of effort for like basically no reason. That's one way to get up to the main nether. But now we have a better way, which is pretty cool, and it takes us up nice and high, and all it is a nether portal. So how does this work? So look at our y coordinate. We're at y15. We go through this portal, and it takes us to the overworld. It takes us to this spot here. We have the remnants of an old elevator. There was a portal down there, but then I realized I didn't need it, so I took it out. We go back through this portal, and watch where we come out. Basically the same place, but this time we are in the main nether. So basically we have two portals in the nether that link to the same overworld portal, and the overworld one favors going to the upper one. And then to get back down, we could just drop down here. So we can't put a water elevator in the nether because you can't put water in the nether. So we have the Nether Vader, which is two conveniently placed nether portals. So I built another one of these over here. Actually, I won't be able to show it off without actually going to that part of the nether. But it's a pain in the butt to get there because it's a really long path. But hello. Okay. I can't believe I got a skull from that. But yeah, I wasn't even trying to get a skull. But basically, I can show this off because we have the scaffolding. But basically, this is a really long ways down, so I'm not going to show it. So this scaffolding comes out down here, and this goes to our main nether. So if we go that way, it'll take us to one of our paths, and it's actually not that far this way. But we have our nether paths out on each of the major axes, like on positive X, negative X, basically X and Z. So this one is X, right? So, because Z is 0. So, or wait, would this be the Z axis? I always forget which is which. But basically, this is Z0. And this way goes back to the nether fortress. So like this will go right, if you follow this that way, it'll take you right to that hub that we were just at a little bit ago. Then you could go this way, which I don't see why you would choose to go that way now that we have the Nether Vader over in, like, by the hub. But if you go through here, this will take you to some random place, and you go back through, and it will take you to the Nether Fortress. Yay! And then from the Nether Fortress, you can simply just do this. You can head out and go back. And now that we have this vantage point too, and this portal, which is a little bit easier to see, it's a little bit easier to find the spot where we go down. So yeah. And I really got to get a honey block in there. So yeah, that'll take us to our main nether. Or to our, not to our main nether, but to our, I guess this kind of is our main nether at this point. I need to figure out like what I'm going to call these. This needs to be like the main nether, and then the other one has to be like the vanilla nether or something like that. This place is just pretty much just as bad as the surface. Actually, I don't think it's quite as bad now, but main thing is, like, the mobs you can't get away from as easily. If I'm up there and there's a bunch of mobs, I could just fly away. Down here, you can't really do that too easily. Also, that portal that I showed is actually really close to where our desert outpost is going to be. Where the portal that's in the Nether Fortress goes to, that takes you to really close to where our desert outpost is going to be. Also, ghasts are starting to spawn in these spots down here, which these spots have been here for a long time. This is where I've had TNT, and I tried to blow up TNT to find ancient debris. And for some reason, just now, ghasts are starting to spawn in these spots, and they're wreaking havoc. So it's kind of unfortunate. That's why I'm very glad to have... And don't think that we won't be able to get around in this main nether like we currently can, where we could just go diagonally at whatever angle we want. How did that guy just totally ignore me? Okay. Because I will have these open so that you could get pretty much wherever you want in the main nether, in this lower nether down here. But we're also going to have these paths on the axes, on the X and Z axes, that are going to be closed off. So this is going to be closed off. Each of these white things are going to be closed off. Why is it so laggy? Jeez. I think it might be time to restart my computer. It's been on for days. So, yeah. And also, I have surprisingly little in terms of things along this axis, along the z=0 axis. What is it? Is it the z axis or the x axis? I always forget which is which. It's z0, so it must be the z axis, right? Yeah, because otherwise you would have no way of knowing, like, what axis it actually was. So this must be the z-axis if it's equal to 0. Yeah. I think. I need to look that up. I think. I'm really doubting it. Yeah, it has to be, because you would have no way of knowing what coordinate it would be. So, like, if this were the x-axis, you'd be like, why is it the x-axis, though? Like, x can be any value, so it could just as easily be the y-axis. Yeah. So this has to be the z-axis, and then this is the x-axis. Okay. That's enough brain hurting for the day. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Calcium Capulus Modem Tardum. Also, if you've enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. Comment whether or not you think that it would be good to see me do to use any mods. I will be starting a new style of episode shortly, and they'll be shorter. They'll be in a shorter format, so I can hopefully get more out whilst also not having to do as much editing. And I should be getting more content out, but I'll have shorter episodes, just far more frequently. So instead of like less than once a month, a 40-minute episode, maybe like once a week, a 10-minute episode. So yeah, that'll be an improvement. So for sure. So being that it takes so long to edit and stuff. So but yeah, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.